Back here in Kansas City, and it is cold. 33 degrees, but that wind has been kicking and swirling inside this stadium. Mostly sunny skies the rest of the afternoon here at the new Arrowhead Stadium. Josh McDaniels, 11-16 record as the head coach of the Denver Broncos, youngest head coach in the NFL. The 12th head coach in Broncos history, still has 2 years remaining left on a 4-year deal. And Todd Haley, he got off to a slow start during his tenure with Kansas City, but boy, has he picked it up. The Chiefs 7-4 this year, leading the way in the AFC West. Denver has won the toss. Kansas City will kick off. Ryan Suckup to Eric Decker, who's deep. He'll return it from the 4 for the Broncos. Decker looking for a running lane. And Decker runs into a wall out across the 30-yard line, and that's where Denver will open up after the 26-yard return by the rookie Decker. Starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos, Kyle Orton, leading the NFL in passing yards, 3,370 through 11 games.
Well, and quarterbacks had to carry this offense each week. Not a big running game, and if he doesn't play well, they have no chance. There's not enough production elsewhere to help this offense.
And they're going Wildcat on first down. It's no Sean Moreno taking the snap, and a little stutter step move, not much there. Trickery. He picks up about 3 on the play as Sean Smith is there defensively. Let's take a look at the starting offense for Denver up front. Finally, some consistency on this O-line. That's because Zach Beadles has fit in nicely, the rookie out of Utah, at the left guard position. Backs and receivers for this Denver team. And look, they've got weapons offensively, but the issue has been the lack of balance. Now Orton will shift in at quarterback. Initially it looked like it would be a second Wildcat on a 2nd and 7. Motion man is Gaffney. Fake the handoff. Orton to throw, and it's caught. Jabbar Gaffney hauls it in for a first down out near midfield. Brandon Flowers there defensively for Kansas City. That one covers 18 yards.
Well, the play action pass, they've been throwing a lot of balls on first down. You're going to see Gaffney matched up on Flowers. Good job at the top of the stem, selling it. A nice job adjusting to a higher ball by Kyle Orton.
So Flowers getting the nod here today. He's not 100%. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury. Fake the end around. Orton on the move and makes the connection with Dan Gronkowski. So the tight end gets involved early. Mike Vrabel and Eric Berry combined to bring him down. Defensively, this Kansas City team, they've got the veteran up front, Ron Edwards, and they've got Sean Smith, who scored a touchdown, a rushing touchdown last week for Kansas City. Linebackers, Derek Johnson has been outstanding. He's been all over the field, the leading tackler for Kansas City, over 100 tackles. And in the secondary, Flowers is back for Kansas City. Question marks as to whether or not he would be able to go. Moreno on 2nd and 1-yard pickup. You know, the question, if you don't run it that well, how can you be effective in play action, Rich? Let's check out your game study.
Well, it all starts with that offensive line. Good pad level off the ball. Then the backs sell the run action along with Kyle Orton. Does a great job extending the ball and holding those linebackers. Even the safeties can't help themselves because it looks just like run. That's why they're a very good play action football team.
Well, Denver had its way with this Kansas City defense when they played 3 weeks ago. Take the handoff. Orton in trouble, and Orton is thrown down. Tamba Hali. It's a new career high for sacks in a season, his 9th of the year, and a loss of 6 on the play.
Well, Tamba Hali, he's going to have to get it done today. They're going to throw the football a lot. You watch Tamba Hali right at the top of your screen. He's going to be working on Ryan Clady. Clady actually steps down. They don't even block him. They don't even block the best pass rusher. They're expecting the tight end to come back across the formation and block Tamba Hali. He is late getting there.
2nd and 16. Eddie Royal trying to get him to the outside on the catch and run. Derek Johnson was able to maintain his positioning and limit him to a 3.5-yard gain on the toss out. It'll set up a long, this was the issue the last time these two teams met. 3rd and long. On the flip side, Denver now faces a 3rd and 13.
Well, they're converting just 23% of the 3rd down attempts the last 5 games. Just 1 of 9 versus the Rams last week. It's been a problem all season for them.
Dime package here for Kansas City. Shotgun formation for Orton. Orton, pump, throw, and broken up. He was trying to squeeze it into Brandon Lloyd. Eric Berry, the talented rookie out of Tennessee, was on that back line for Kansas City.
Well, they run Eddie Royal underneath to try and hold the coverage, but Eric Berry does an excellent job sitting down. They ran by Eric Berry a number of times last week. You can go see Royal, and then, of course, right there, Eric Berry drives on Brandon Lloyd, knocking that ball out.
And this Denver team in no man's land, Rich, at the 39-yard line. They're forced to punt because it's a 4th and 13. Britton Colquitt. We've got the kicking Colquitts here today. Colquitt's punting for both teams. And a fair catch called for Javier Arenas inside the 10, and Kansas City will open up deep in its own territory after the 31-yard punt. So Denver was driving, but Kansas City stalled them. First possession. 11:03 to play, first quarter here in Kansas City. Chiefs with the football for the first time, and Matt Castle, the AFC Offensive Player of the Month in November, running this Chiefs offense with a 1st and 10 at the 8-yard line. It's a pitch. Charles finds running room at across the 15-yard line. 8-yard gain on first down. The maturity of Matt Castle, year 2 in the system, and you've seen a lot of improvements.
Yeah, I really have. 18 touchdowns, 1 interception in the last 7 games. Those numbers from a quarterback who was considered more of a game manager earlier this year. You can make the argument he's playing as well as any quarterback in the league right now. And the relationship, him and Charlie Weiss now calling the plays, the offensive coordinator for Kansas City, has been outstanding. Keep it on the ground. This time it's Thomas Jones. He'll have the first down, getting the angle out to the perimeter. David Bruton there to chase him down. It's a 4-yard gain. And the 1-2 punch of Charles and Jones. Starting lineup for Kansas City on offense. Brandon Albert is back at the left tackle. He was active last week but didn't play. And Albert returning to the starting lineup. That means Barry Richardson shifts to the right side. Backs and receivers, could be a big day for Tony Moeaki because Denver's been having trouble dealing with opposing tight ends. Moeaki impressive in his rookie year out of Iowa. Run by Dexter. McCluster returning to action after missing the last 5 games with a sore ankle. The electrifying rookie out of Mississippi, the 2nd-round pick, and multifaceted 5-yard gain on the ground for McCluster. Defensively for Denver, they come in 27th in the NFL in total defense. Justin Bannon has been an excellent all-around defensive lineman for this Denver squad. Among the linebacking core, you'll see Ayers, you'll see Jason Hunter seeing action as well. And in that secondary, they've dealt with a bunch of injuries, but they still have Champ Bailey, one of the best in the business, and he should be matched up with Bo throughout the day. Castle to throw. And it's offline, looking for Varan Tucker, the rookie out of California, in a matchup with fellow rookie Parrish Cox out of Oklahoma State.
3rd down and 6 from the Chiefs 24.
So we'll call it 3rd down and a long 5 now for Kansas City.
Well, they've been known to run the ball 33% of the time here on 3rd down. That's what the Denver coaching staff talked about. A little unusual, particularly in this down and distance.
Number 1 rushing offense in the NFL, over 174 yards per game. They'll look to throw for it with Castle over the middle, and it's incomplete. Tony Moeaki with Nate Jones. And it's Jones winning that battle.
That's really on the quarterback right there. You got to be, you look at this throw by Matt Castle, he's going to miss on the back shoulder of Tony Moeaki. You have to put it on these tight ends. A good job there by Nate Jones, but you have to hit him on the front shoulder. Very difficult for these big tight ends to make that back shoulder catch.
Fans wanted an interference. No penalty was called. Dustin Colquitt on to punt it. He is the older of the 2 brothers. Eddie Royal, the deep man, makes a man miss at the 30, and then Royal moves forward out across the 35-yard line. And Corey Mays, the stop on special teams. 45-yard punt, 6-yard return. Todd Haley, he wears his emotions on his sleeve, unhappy with no flag. A lot of hustle and bustle out at the plaza here in Kansas City. It's always nice around holiday time where they get the Christmas lights up. First and 10 for Denver at the 37. Noshawn Moreno tried to accelerate on that second effort. Didn't have the hole initially, but was able to pick up 2 yards. Glenn Dorsey had the penetration. Eric Berry able to wrap him up.
Well, they haven't had a lot of success running the ball this season. I think there's a couple of reasons why. They're young and inexperienced inside with those 2 rookies at center and left guard. They've gotten behind early in a number of games, and they've been forced to play catch-up. And finally, you look at the play caller's history. When Josh was with Brady in New England, they've gotten behind to hand the ball to the quarterback.
Orton throwing on the run. Almost intercepted. John McGraw, who's back in the lineup after recovering from a concussion, nearly came down with a pick.
Well, they're trying to throw the ball downfield, going after these young corners and safeties in the secondary. You see Brandon Lloyd there, just a bad throw, trying to stick one into double coverage. John McGraw playing up over the top, knowing that he has help from that safety. That's a catch you have to make.
John McGraw, one of the leaders on this defense, now in his 9th year. He's been a solid veteran. Kendrick Lewis is inactive, the talented rookie out of Mississippi. Lewis with an ankle injury. Shotgun formation on 3rd and 8. And the rush brings down Orton. Javier Arenas, a corner blitz. NFL Today update. Let's go to JB.
Ian and Rich. Brett Favre in the game against Buffalo, rolling right. 297 consecutive regular season start. Hit hard from behind by Arthur Moat. The ball is picked off. He is out of the game. Return is questionable. Tavares Jackson in at QB. Ian Eagle and Rich Gannon.
Boy, what a difficult season this has been for Brett Favre. And the latest injury for Favre. Tavares Jackson steps in at quarterback. Britton Colquitt punting to Arenas. He's got room to work with from the 22. And Arenas diving out across the 30-yard line, hit by Joe Mays. These two teams go back to the old AFL days. A lot of history between the Broncos and the Chiefs. The latest chapter today on CBS. Got a sports fan on your gift list? CBSSports.com shop has officially licensed NFL gear and get 3-day shipping on every order. Go to shop.cbssports.com. Don't forget, night number 5 of Hanukkah tonight, so that might be a good phone call for those who have to get some late shopping in. First and 10 for Kansas City, 7:45 to play, first quarter. Double tight end set with Pope and Moiaki. Castle on an out route. Dwayne Bowe reaching out for it, and a clean catch. 9 yards out of the perimeter.
I didn't think there was any chance that he'd be able to get both feet in bounds.
And I think you're right.
I don't think he does. That ball took off once Matt Castle threw it. And I think the wind is a little bit of a factor today with Matt Castle throwing the football.
And Denver players have been asking McDaniels, throw the red flag. He just did.
Yeah, he doesn't get either of them down.
So McDaniels will challenge this. Carl Cheffers comes over to chat.
Denver is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass. We'll review the play.
This one looks like an open and shut case for Dwayne Bowe on the outside pass from Castle. They'll take a look at it. 9-yard gain on the play. We are in a coach's challenge right now, and the question, did Dwayne Bowe bring this ball in cleanly with his feet in bounds?
And I think when you look real close on, you look at that right foot, it's just off the ground. It's starting to come off the ground, the tip of that right foot as he's catching the ball.
Yeah, there is space in between the toe and the turf.
Yeah, really.
Great grab, by the way.
Well, as soon as they threw the ball, I could almost tell he doesn't have the ball yet. Now see that right foot come off the ground?
He had to go airborne to extend for it, and that throw was offline. That's been an issue right now for Castle.
It has. He's missed a couple of throws early here. I always say if you wait, you're late. He's been late on a couple of throws. And when the wind starts moving around here in this stadium, you really have to drill the ball. You can't put a lot of air on it.
After review, the receiver did not have 2 feet in bounds. It is an incomplete pass. It will be 2nd down and 10. Denver will not be charged with a timeout.
Well, you played in this stadium, Rich. You understand the winds Todd Haley actually brought his team into Arrowhead to practice. He told his guys, we're going to study where we take the test. It's good to experience the wins on a Saturday to get a feel for it for true playing conditions on Sunday.
Absolutely. They've been up here on Fridays as well. It's really important to get used to the environment you're going to play in, and these wins here today are starting to be a little bit of an issue for Matt Castle.
Castle is 0 for 3 so far. Handoff for Thomas Jones. They are on pace to get 2 1,000-yard rushers this season, Jones and Charles. A look at Matt Castle so far in the first quarter.
Well, it's always important for a quarterback to get off to a good start. You see him missing some throws here to Grant Tucker, Tony Moyaki. Then late on the boundary. And these are some issues. You have to find a way to settle them down and get off to talk about getting the quarterback off to a good start. Timing and rhythm in the passing game is so important. Last meeting between these two teams 3 weeks ago, Castle went for 469 yards and 4 touchdowns, but the Chiefs were playing from behind. They trailed 35-0. So the game plan went out the window. That throw is on time to Charles, and he's got a first down. Leaning across the 40 for a 10-yard pickup, brought down by D.J. Williams. And those are the matchups that they want. A guy like Jamal Charles on D.J. Williams, you're going to see him. That's the issue. That's the matchup that's going to be a real problem today for these linebackers in Denver. Jamal Charles is just too quick to cover in the open field.
And he sort of flies under the radar in the NFL. Right now, his numbers are amongst the elite in the National Football League among running backs. Charles, boy, he gets a head of steam with a 2-yard gain. Joe Mays there to bring him down. Charles is averaging over 6 yards per carry, and this is the two-headed monster they have on the ground.
Well, you talk about Thomas Jones and Jamal Charles. They've combined for 1,733 yards, the most by any running back tandem in the league, by almost 350 yards. This is a team that's clearly committed to running the football.
And Jones has brought a toughness to this team now in his 11th year in the NFL. 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons for him. On a 2nd and 8. Mike Cox in there today at fullback instead of Tim Castillo. Up the middle, it's Charles. And spilled out across the 45 for a 4-yard pickup. Charles has the track and field background, so sometimes you'll question the toughness of the track and field guys, but right now he's put himself into a historic class among running backs with the way that he has been able to pick up chunks of yardage. Look at these names.
Yeah, it's an elite group. You think about it. That's the first thing that Wink Martindale, the Denver defensive coordinator, talked to us about last night. He said every time he touches the ball, he's averaging 6.3 a rush. Says we have to corral him around the line of scrimmage.
This is a 3rd and 4. They're not shy about running the ball, but they will throw it. Castle off play action. A bullet to Dexter McCluster. First down into Denver territory.
And what did Matt Castle tell us the other day? He said these receivers opposite Champ Bailey are going to have a big day. Dexter McCluster, you're going to see him. They're in a stack release. They're just going up and working on these corners. Cox right there. That's what they want to do. Matt Castle told us the other day, all things being equal, I want to work away from Champ Bailey. These ex-receivers, these weak side receivers should have a big day.
On first down, play fake. Castle's going to run. Sliding down inside the 30-yard line. And we'll hit the 4-minute mark of this first quarter. Kansas City is on the move. No score, the Broncos and the Chiefs.
And this is where Matt Castle is so much better than a year ago. First down, they call a pass. It's not there. He's able to pick up 5 or 6 yards with his legs. We saw this a number of times last week in the Seattle game.
Second and 5, 8th play of the drive for Kansas City. Charles in the backfield. He gets the call. And running into a crowd, Marcus Thomas among those there. Give him a gain of 4 on the play. It sets up 3rd and short now for Kansas City.
Well, I think it's important if you're Denver to know what you're up against. No one has run the ball more this year. 389 times. They average over 35 runs a game. Wink Martindale, a defensive coordinator in Denver, he told us, he said, listen, it all starts with stopping the run. We have to do a good job with our front 7.
Well, he watched the first meeting, the film from it. He cut it off after 27 plays because they went into their 2-minute offense the rest of the way. It was 35-0 Denver. Little swing pass. Thomas Jones finds an opening. And Jones taking it upfield. Big gainer. Dropped inside the 5. Barry Richardson with a key block. Ronald Fields brings him down and saves a touchdown. It's 1st and goal.
Well, get a good look at the center and the guard. You're going to see Richardson get out. They do a nice job getting out in front. The back's just going to take a false step and then kick it right out to the right. Thomas Jones in the open field. Look at the guard and center out in front. And he just makes a bunch of people miss. Creative ways to get these backs the ball in space.
1st and goal for Kansas City. From the 5-yard line. Chiefs trying to get on the board first. Handoff, it's Charles. Stutter step and then stood up. He was hit hard by DJ Williams. He took a smack after the 3.5-yard gain inside the 5.
You're going to get a good look at Jamal Charles heading right downhill. We don't think of him as a power runner between the tackles, and that's the reason why. DJ Williams right there with a big hit.
Rich, personnel changes now for Kansas City. Mike Vrabel, the linebacker, a number of touchdowns in his career, and Sean Smith, the defensive end, who had a rushing touchdown last week, the first man to register a sack and a rushing touchdown in the same game since Refrigerator Perry.
Well, he grabbed one last week.
11th play of the drive, bootleg. Castle looking. Castle throws. Caught. Touchdown. Leonard Pope. Long drive by the Chiefs.
Well, all you're going to see is going to work the back of the end zone. They're going to sell action, and then Matt Castle's going to come out to his right. The initial receiver gets grabbed, Tony Moyaki, but you see Pope right in the back of the end zone as an outlet receiver. Nice job getting both the feet in bounds.
First touchdown of the season for the big 6'8", 264-pound tight end Leonard Pope. Ryan Suckup the extra point. Matt Castle now with 23 touchdowns on the season, just 4 picks. Matt Castle, a little bit of a rocky start. He's picked it up for KC. "11 plays, 70 yards, 2-yard touchdown to Pope, who played under Todd Haley when Haley was the offensive coordinator in Arizona. Matt Castle on that drive, 4 of 5. The one incompletion was the challenge where he tried to hit Bo on the sideline and the play was overturned. Suckup kicking off to Eric Decker, and Decker returning it from the 4 for Denver. Slowed down at the 20, a flag thrown, and he is brought down at the 25 by Donald Washington. So there's the flag at the 18.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 30 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
That's David Bruton called on the penalty for Denver. From TV's #1 comedy to the #1 new comedy, the #1 news magazine, the #1 news show, and the #1 show on television. Thanks for making CBS America's #1 network.
Nice job by Matt Castle. It's not there initially. Do a good job covering Tony Moyaki, but right in the back of the end zone, there's Leonard Pope.
1st and 10, Denver pinned deep in its own territory. Moreno slicing through to the 15-yard line, and he picks up 5 yards, met by Tamba Hali. NFL Today update. Let's head to the Big Apple and JB.
Ian and Rich, Drayton Florence, defensive back for Buffalo, having a big game. He picked off Brett Favre earlier. This one he picks off Tavares Jackson, returns it 40 yards to pay dirt, 7-0 Buffalo. Brett Favre still in the locker room. Return is questionable. Back to Ian Eagle and Rich Gannon.
Well, considering the way the Buffalo game ended against Minnesota, heartbreaking loss to Pittsburgh. Handoff, Moreno. And Moreno brought down before he was able to get the first down. A 3-yard pickup. Sean Smith and Tyson Jackson combining to bring him down. It'll be 3rd and short now for Denver.
Well, you know what, Ian, you and I were here late last year. The one area this Kansas City defense has really improved is the run defense. Yep. Currently 7th. They've done a much better job under Romeo Crennel.
That'll be the final play of this first quarter. Kansas City in front of Denver, 7-0. We'll have second quarter action coming up from Arrowhead. AFC West battle here on CBS. Ian Eagle, Rich Gannon, rest of our CBS crew here in Kansas City. Things are a little different than 3 weeks ago when the Denver Broncos put up 215 yards in the first quarter against Kansas City's defense. We start playing the second quarter, and the Chiefs lead it 7-0. Play fake. Orton a gun, and he throws to Brandon Lloyd for a first down. That looked more like the Broncos offense that we've come to see this year.
Well, the commitment to running the football is just not there. You see these numbers, they're going in the opposite direction, and it's tough to win in this league when you don't run the football. As I study this Denver offense, it's about the play action game. It's about the quarterback movement with the nakeds and the boots and the screens. That's really what Kansas City has to defend here today.
They're being outgained on the ground by an average of 62 yards per game. That's the second highest differential in the league. Glenn Dorsey with a stop on Moreno and a 2.5-yard gain on the play. Moreno actually led all rookies in rushing last year, 947 yards. He was a big-time player at Georgia, but the transition has been a little more difficult.
Two completely different offensive philosophies. Denver wants to throw the ball early to set the run, whereas Kansas City is all about running the ball to set the play-action game.
2nd and 7 now. A pitch to try to establish Moreno. And Moreno is tripped up as he gets across the 35, brought down by Eric Berry, another young player. 3-yard gain. Berry, part of this young defensive core now for Kansas City. Scott Pioli came in. He's made a lot of changes. The general manager of this Kansas City Chiefs squad, personnel-wise, they've been able to upgrade, and it's showing up on the field this year.
Yeah, he's a young and experienced player, but he's always around the line of scrimmage. Romeo Crennel described it on Saturday as a heat-seeking missile. He can't help it. He wants to be around the action.
He gave him high praise. He said he reminded him of Lawyer Malloy, who Romeo had when he was the defensive coordinator with the New England Patriots.
Here he comes.
3rd and 3 now, and Denver's going to use a timeout. Did they get it in? There's a flag thrown in the defensive backfield.
Timeout, Denver.
So they got it in. We'll step aside. We asked Romeo Crennel about all the young players on defense. He said, look, the young players are going to make mistakes. You just hope they don't make those mistakes during critical moments. This is a 3rd and 3 now for Denver. Shotgun formation after the timeout. Orton with protection. Throws, almost intercepted. It came close to getting picked off there by Brandon Carr.
Well, they do a good job. They always want to throw the ball inside on 3rd down. To Eddie Royal, you see Brandon Carr. He is sitting right there, knowing that he's got help outside from that corner. Romeo Crennel has done an excellent job. Excellent job with this defense.
Britton Colquitt on to punt it. Now in his 2nd year in the NFL out of Tennessee. His dad, of course, Craig, an NFL punter for 8 years with Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. Javier Arenas moving forward. Brings it in cleanly at the 20, a flag down, and Arenas able to turn the corner and then hop steps his way to the 30-yard line. David Bruton with another special teams tackle, 43-yard punt, and a 9-yard return. But the flag is back at the 17-yard line.
Well, he gets Terrence Copper for grabbing. He grabbed the hold of Bruton.
Copper got injured on an early special teams play, what appeared to be an arm injury, but he was able to shake it off. Mays was also in the area. Todd Haley asking for offsetting penalties from the Kansas City sideline.
Well, Todd Haley, he'll give those officials their money's worth today. He is very vocal.
Kick, holding number 27 of the return team. That penalty will be enforced. Half the distance to the goal. Timeout.
Donald Washington called on the penalty. Kansas City with a 7-0 lead over Denver.
Kansas City from the
Back in Kansas City, where the scout overlooks downtown KC. Chiefs 7, Broncos nothing. And Kansas City with a football after the penalty. 1st and 10 at the 9-yard line. Castle to throw, releasing out of the backfield. Thomas Jones, and a little juke move for a first down. DJ Williams there defensively. It's 12 yards on the catch and run for the veteran running back. Listen to every game live online with NFL.com Audio Pass. For special offers, go to NFL.com/Audio Pass or search NFL Audio Pass.
They've done a much better job. They're breaking some tendencies. They're throwing the ball a lot more now on 1st and 10.
New set of downs for Kansas City to work with. Hand off to the first man. It's Charles. They faked the end around action. Bruton there defensively with Joe Mays. Well, if you're going to get your ground game going, it takes a collaborative effort.
Yeah, you don't get to be the #1 rushing team in football if you don't have receivers who show up and are willing to block on the perimeter. And Kansas City has a very unselfish group of wide receivers who do just that. They take great pride in their run blocking. They all realize you can't have the explosive plays if you're not willing to block on the edge.
Charles over 1,000 yards for the 2nd consecutive year. 1,120 yards rushing last season. He'll certainly top that mark. He might top it today. 2nd and 6. Castle handled by Jones and then shoved out of bounds. He's got a first down across the 35. He only came in with 8 catches on the season, and Jones has been a big part of the aerial attack for Kansas City. That one covers 10 yards.
Well, they've done a nice job checking the ball down. Thomas Jones making a back shoulder catch. And you see right there, could have been a late one on Jason Hunter right there on the boundary. He is really on the white line.
Matt Castle started 0 of 3. He is 6 of his last 6 throwing the football. On a pitch, and whistle stop this play dead.
Ball starts, number 67, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And that's Barry Richardson, who started at left tackle last week for Brandon Albert, who wasn't 100%. And Richardson back at the right tackle spot.
He did a nice job over there at the left tackle last week. On the road in Seattle, difficult environment. He's much better suited on the right side of that offensive line. This offensive line has really been stellar this year. You don't lead the league in rushing. They've only had 15 sacks coming into today's game. They've been really strong up front.
Their ability to rotate backs and keep both of them fresh, Charles and Jones. Castle didn't like what he saw. He'll use a timeout. 10:32 to play, first half in KC. Don Wink Martindale in his first year as defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. They have not held an opponent under 24 points since October the 3rd. That was a 26-20 win at Tennessee. 1st and 15, Kansas City. Castle throwing in a crowd. He was trying to hit Moiaki, and it's incomplete. Saturday, live at noon Eastern, St. Louis collides with the #1 team in the country, defending national champions Duke. The road to the Final Four underway on CBS.
You look at that. It's always important to get off to a good start. Denver has not had that same success here today. Kansas City, 113 yards of offense. They've done a good job mixing it up on the early downs.
Charles in the backfield. Moiaki, the motion man, on a pitch. 2nd and 15. Charles needs to kick it into a different gear so quickly as he spins his way across the 40-yard line, working that left side of the line. It's a 10-yard gain.
Well, just look at the left side of the offensive line. They really get movement on. You can just see it. They're going to come off on the double team. They're just going to toss the ball on the edge to Jamal Charles. But look at that left side. Work in unison. Get the double teams. Brandon Albert does a nice job scooping, getting up on that linebacker. And of course, Jamal Charles finishes the run.
Last week, 173 yards rushing and a touchdown. It was the first time in an NFL regular season game a running back and a wide receiver both went for at least 170 yards in the same game, and it was Charles and Bo for Kansas City. 3rd and 5. Castle throwing in stride. Moiaki. First down into Denver territory. He was able to bring Parrish Cox with him, who took a ride 19 yards.
Well, you're just going to see Tony Moeaki. He just sneaks out across the formation. But Matt Castle has done an excellent job today sorting through all the motions and the defense. But watch Moeaki. He gets knocked down. He actually gets back up off the ground. They're really hurting this Denver secondary, completing balls underneath the zone coverage.
And they are inside the Denver 40. 8 first downs for Kansas City, 4 of 5 on third down conversions. Play clock is winding down. Castle has to work quickly on a pitch for McCluster. And McCluster trying to slice his way for extra yardage. He's limited to no gain, maybe a half a yard depending on the spot. DJ Williams sliding down low to make that stop for Denver.
Well, they haven't had Dexter McCluster the last couple weeks, and Todd Haley was excited to get him back into the lineup today. A multi-dimensional player. Every coach on the coaching staff wants a piece of Dexter McCluster. The running backs coach, the wide receivers coach, the special teams coach. The kid can do it all. He's an exciting player. You look at this offense, much more team speed because of players like McCluster and Charles.
Yeah, it's nice being popular. McCluster had a 94-yard punt return for a touchdown in the season opener against San Diego. He was a big-time rusher in college at Mississippi. With the play clock winding down, Kansas City able to get rid of it. Leonard Pope spun down, but a penalty marker on the play. Jason Hunter over there defensively. It's a 5-yard pickup. Flag is at the 39. Might have been an illegal shift. And Carl Sheffard's microphone is not working. And Todd Haley is still all over the officials.
Well, he only knows one way. He's a very emotional, very passionate coach. I'll see him walk on the field. And
well, we asked him about the non-handshake, and he said, look, I'm sorry about how it went down after the game against Denver. We're all competitive. He said there's no handbook on football etiquette. Sometimes things just happen, and that happened to be one of those times.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. You know, you hate to see that between two coaches, and even in talking with Josh McDaniels last night, they want to put it behind him and get on to today's game and not let it be an issue.
2nd and 15. Castle forced to get rid of it. Heavy heat coming from Mario Hagan. Hagan had 3 sacks in the last meeting against Kansas City. Let's go to New York. Check in with JB.
All right, Ian and Rich, take a look here at Jacksonville. 1st and goal from the 4 on a keeper. David Gaddard, 4 yards to pay dirt. His 4th rushing touchdown of the season. That capped a 13-play, 57-yard drive. 14-0 Jags. Ian and Rich.
You know, Dan, there's something about this Jacksonville team. They're 6-5. They've hung in there. They've got a chance to win that division considering all the injuries Indianapolis is dealing with.
Yeah, they've won a lot of games late, 2 in the division. They came from behind against Indy and against the Texans as well.
Castle throwing. Cut back by Charles. And then buried inside the 35 by Ronaldo Hill. Another update. JB's a busy man. Let's go back to him in the studio.
That is the case, losing a few pounds just talking. Ian, take a look here at running back Chris Ivory, other Saints breaking out of the pack. Ian and Rich, this is the longest play for the Saints this season. 55 yards to pay dirt. 10-3 Saints in the second. Back to Ian and Rich.
Now New Orleans at 8-3 on the season, 1 game behind Atlanta, the defending Super Bowl champions. Just kind of going about their business, not making headlines, but
they're getting
it's
healthy.
December, Rich.
Yeah, they're getting healthy. They've won 4 in a row. Keep an eye on the Saints.
Instead of trying a 51-yard field goal attempt, they elect to punt it with Dustin Colquitt. Eddie Royal with the fair catch. And again, Denver will have tough field position to open up. First 3 possessions for Denver today. Punt, punt, punt. Longest drive of just over 30 yards on first down. It's Moreno busting free up the middle for a first down to the 20-yard line. Good blocks there from Richard Quinn and Ryan Clady. It's a 13-yard gain.
Well, just watch this hole open up right up inside here. Do a nice job getting pushed. Look at the double team right there between the guards and the center. And, of course, Sean Moreno does a nice job once he gets up on the second level.
They've got Clady up front. Zane Beadle's a part of this group with J.D. Walton, Chris Cooper, and Ryan Harris. They believe that they've got the right offensive line in place to become a better running team. They just have not been able to marry the two together consistently. Fake the pitch, and it is Moreno. And again, there's a hole for Moreno up the gut. He picks up 10 yards. Coming up, Sprint halftime report. James Brown and company, the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Well, let's face it, both of these coaches watched the film from the last game. You've got to make some adjustments. And Josh McDaniels was direct with us in our meeting yesterday. He felt they would be able to run the football against this Kansas City team.
Well, he felt Sean Moreno had a great week of practice, and he felt it was going to be important. He thought the weather would be an issue, and the fact that Kansas City has gotten a little bit better in their pass defense. They needed some balance. You talk about those young players up inside, Zane Beadles and J.D. Walton, two rookies. Very unusual to have two rookies start along that offensive line, but they played a lot of football in college. Beadles is a 4-year starter at Utah, and of course Walton, a 3-year starter at Baylor. They have really come on the last month.
Play selection so far, 10 rushes, 9 passes, 54 rushing yards, 28 through the air. Keep it on the ground for Moreno. And Moreno bangs his way inside for a 4-yard pickup and another Denver first down.
Well, they're starting to have more balance. Remember, we talked about the pass that sets up the run, and you look at play selection and how important it can be. You look here on this drive, 4 runs and no passes, and 35 yards off of it as well. And that's really going to help a quarterback like Kyle Orton later in the game.
Orton right now is 4 of 7 for 43 yards. A steady diet of Moreno. And Moreno brought down at the 45, 3-yard pickup. Javon Belcher will be given credit for the stop for Kansas City.
Well, not a lot of love lost between these two teams when they get together. You look at the history, and I've been a part of it, having played here in Kansas City for 4 years, and I can remember some great battles. And what did Todd Haley tell us on Saturday? We want to turn this thing into a physical confrontation on both sides of the football.
And they never got to do that in the first meeting because of the way the game dictated the play calling. It was 35-0 before you blinked in favor of Denver. Now Orton wants to throw it. He will throw over the middle. Moreno, the intended target. And it's incomplete.
Well, they got lucky there. They had linemen downfield. There it comes late. They had the screen pass called, and
there is a flag thrown at the 47-yard line.
J.D. Walton was clearly downfield.
Prior to the pass, ineligible player number 50, illegally downfield, 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
So it is against the rookie out of Baylor, 3rd-round pick. The second center drafted in 2010.
Well, keep an eye on J.D. Walton and Beadles out here. They're trying to get out in the screen, and they're trying to run the screen, but Kansas City does a nice job sorting it out. Kyle Orton's trying to hold as long as he can, and you see the lineman downfield trying to get a block. Kyle Orton's got to throw that ball away earlier.
Second penalty called against Denver, costing the Broncos 15 yards. Now a 2nd and 12. All of their success on this drive has been on the ground. Correll Buckhalter has come on, and he's in the backfield out of the shotgun. Movement.
Second
And a timeout.
Kansas City.
Chiefs get a timeout, leading 7-0 in the second quarter. This game has gone so far. Has it played more into what Denver wanted to do as they prepared for this one?
I don't think so. I think Denver is hoping to get off to a fast start. I have not been able to score yet in this game. They're having a little bit of momentum here, but really important to get a score here, I think, before this half. I mean, you can't go into halftime scoreless.
We expected some fireworks here between these two teams. Prolific offenses. Denver's number 8 in the league. Kansas City's number 6. Orton. A lot of protection and nobody home. Skied it over the head of Daniel Graham. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and long for Denver. And if you look over the last 7 weeks, nobody in the NFL has been worse on 3rd down than the Denver Broncos.
And part of the problem is they've not been good on the early downs. And we talked about that with Kyle Orton last night. He said that the penalties have hurt us, the inability to run the ball on early downs, the turnovers. They got to get things cleared up. 3rd and long against this Kansas City defense. You're just asking for trouble.
This will be 3rd and 12 for the Broncos. Kansas City with a 7-0 lead. Out of the gun. Orton gets rid of it and makes the connection to Eric Decker. The rookie out of Minnesota, sure hands. He hauls it in, and a new set of downs for the Broncos to work with. Just the 3rd catch of the season for Decker.
Well, a perfect throw gets it done here. Look at Kyle Orton's eyes. He's trying to hold the safety. You see McGraw there trailing, knowing that he's got help over the top from Berry, but a perfect throw and catch by the Broncos.
Demaryius Thomas is inactive because of an ankle injury, and that has given Eric Decker an opportunity. On 1st down. Back to the ground game. Stutter step move. It's Moreno. Noshawn Moreno to the 2nd level. And across the 15-yard line, Moreno able to slither his way for a 17-yard pickup. And an injured player for Denver. Dan Gronkowski is on one knee.
Well, they're doing a nice job. They're just running the ball to the right side of this offensive line. Look at the movement they're getting over there. Chris Cooper, Ryan Harris. Noshawn Moreno doing a nice job scooting, being thin in the hole, and then finishing runs. They have to continue to press the envelope here, running the football.
Now the 2nd-year pro out of Maryland, Dan Gronkowski, looked to be his left ankle as he was blocking up front for Moreno, and Gronkowski needs some help getting off.
We're seeing a lot of 2 tight end sets with Daniel Graham and Dan Gronkowski. He's done an excellent job in this 1st half blocking on the perimeter for Noshawn Moreno.
We've just seen a lot of Gronkowskis around the NFL between his brother Chris in Dallas and Rob in New England.
Yeah, just keep an eye. He's right there on the end of the line of scrimmage, and he's just going to get that. Mike Vrabel looked like he stepped on
the left foot of Gronkowski. So Quinn comes in along with Daniel Graham. They will take a peek at that left ankle. 1st down for Denver after the run by Moreno. 1st and 10 of the Kansas City 15-yard line. We come up on 2 minutes to go. It's Moreno steamrolling up the middle, and he picks up 4 yards. We hit the 2-minute warning with Glenn Dorsey there to stop Moreno. More 2nd quarter action when we return to KC. The number 12 pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, Noshawn Moreno, on this drive, 7 carries, 58 yards for the game. He's at 14 for 81. And the Broncos facing a 2nd and 7. It's Moreno plunging and met by Derek Johnson. Not a whole lot there for Moreno. He picks up 3 on the play.
Well, you think about the way they're shifting gears. They start running the football a little bit with Noshawn Moreno. When you look at the statistics, he's already got 81 yards rushing here in the 1st half. A number of them coming on this drive. A lot of those runs coming up inside the middle of that offensive line. Beatles, Walton, and Cooper doing an excellent job at the point of attack.
We'll call it a 3rd and 3. Denver trying to get on the board. Bootleg. Incomplete. Derek Johnson there to greet Moreno on the swing. 4th down, Broncos.
Well, if you're Kyle Orton, you have to put it on Noshawn Moreno. Very difficult to make that catch on the back shoulder. You can see Moreno, he's just going to run into the flat. Look where this ball is. Very difficult. Got to put it on that front number. Difficult to adjust knowing that you're going to get hit.
25-yard field goal attempt for Matt Prater. And Prater knocks it through. Denver's 1st points of the day. 7-3, Kansas City in front. Coming up, Sprint halftime report. JB and the rest of the crew back in New York. The latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Fast-moving 1st half here in Kansas City. 12 plays, 85 yards for Denver. Just about all of that damage done by Noshawn Moreno. They have to settle for the short field goal.
Well, they didn't get off to a good start. They had that 3 and out, and of course they came back and put together a great drive and took the crowd out of it here a little bit. got to be able to finish those drives when you get in the red zone. You know, they've settled for field goals too much this season, and with the amount of points that their defense has given up this year, you've got to capitalize when you get your opportunities down in the red zone.
Dexter McCluster is the deep man. Matt Prater will kick it off after the 25-yard field goal. It's a short kick. McCluster moves forward, brings it in cleanly at the 11. McCluster makes a cut. Boy, he gets ahead of steam as he accelerates out across the 25, and Sidquan Thompson with a tackle on special teams. Wednesday on Showtime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, Warren Sapp, and Phil Simms come your way. It's cable's longest running show, the multi-award winning Inside the NFL, every Wednesday on Showtime.
Well, the Chiefs offense, you look at them in the last 2 minutes of the first half, they've been outstanding. I think a big reason why they have some more playmakers on the perimeter. Dwayne Bowe's had an outstanding season. Of course, Tony Moeaki and the rookie Dexter McCluster, more weapons for Matt Castle.
Kansas City only has one timeout left. Castle to throw on first down. Out route caught by Tucker, the surprising rookie out of Cal. Pretty good speed. Just played 1 year of high school football, originally from Los Angeles, and Tucker able to pick up 9 on that first down.
I got a kick out of Matt Castle when he was talking about Tucker. He said he didn't even know his name in training camp.
That's right.
Didn't take any reps with the first team until the early part of the season. He has really come on as of late.
Charles. Shake and bake move by Charles for a first down out across the 45-yard line. We are under a minute to go, and the clock is moving here at the end of the second quarter. 10-yard gain. Ryan Suckup, target line would be right around the 36 for Suckup. Career long of 53 yards. First down for Kansas City, shotgun formation. Castle throwing underneath to Moeaki. And that's a first down out across the 45.
Right here now, you got to take the timeout. There's other ways to stop the clock. They can kill it. You only have one left.
So now only 29 seconds left on the clock. And they'll tack on 4 seconds. Carl Sheffer saying to put 33 seconds on the clock. Well, we talked to Matt Castle about the dynamic between him and Charlie Weiss. And he said that Charlie has just had the perfect demeanor. His tone is positive, and the two of them hit it off from the very beginning. Obviously, the close friendship between Castle and Tom Brady in New England, and Weiss and Brady still very close after their working relationship with the Patriots.
I think the change has really benefited Matt Castle. You look right there at Charlie Weiss. He's got a very calming personality, is how Castle described him. And I think it's a lot different than what he experienced last year with Todd Haley. And I think it's helped Todd to step away from it a little bit, to be involved with the quarterbacks, but not to be calling the plays. And I think that's I think Matt, that's one of the big reasons why he has really thrived this year, is the fact that Charlie has really come in and taken control of this offense.
They need about 10 yards if they want to try a deep 50, 51-yard field goal. Shotgun formation. Castle throwing, incomplete. The dive there by McCluster. And 28 seconds remain in this first half.
Well, you're going to see Bailey up top. Champ Bailey, he is looking forward to this matchup. He's got Dwayne Bowe. They're trying to get the ball to McCluster. But we got a chance to talk to Champ Bailey last night. He was really excited about matching up against Dwayne Bowe, who's had an outstanding 6 or 7 weeks here. He's going to follow him all over the field today. You see him locked up down here. He's had a lot of success. You look at what he did to Reggie Wayne earlier this year.
Castle, plenty of time, and he's forced to throw it away in the direction of Varan Tucker. So Bowe, who has been on a tear, an absolute tear. Dwayne Bowe, 13 catches, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns last week. He has touchdowns in 7 straight games, but so far today, Bowe has not been able to get involved as Champ Bailey has been his shadow.
And that's what Champ Bailey told us. We got to stop the run and take Dwayne Bowe out of the game. And as I was mentioning, when Bailey has had chances earlier this year to match up on Reggie Wayne, held him to 4 catches, and Quan Bowl to just 1 catch. He is a lockdown corner.
22 seconds left. And a 3rd and 10. Castle throwing. It's caught inside the 30 by Moeaki.
Got to clock it.
No timeouts remaining. They're trying to rush here and spike the football. Castle gets everybody set up, and he stops the clock with 7 seconds left.
Very nice job by that offensive line and Matt Castle getting that orchestrated. Nobody panicked. They knew exactly what to do in that situation.
So they're going to send Ryan Suckup onto the field.
Well, the protection today has been outstanding for Matt Castle. He wants that wheel route, but when it's not there, he brings his eyes right back inside to his rookie tight end, Tony Moeaki, who has caught everything thrown in his direction this season.
Suckup is looking for his season long of 47 yards. Colquitt will hold it. And McDaniels will ice the kicker. The field goal will not count. Timeout taken.
Prior to the snap, Denver called timeout. That's their second charge timeout of the half. Please set the game clock to 7 seconds.
Why not? Why not? You have one to burn. Make them do it again.
Going back
I know you're upset. You want to run and get some hot chocolate here at halftime.
Is there some available, Rich? Because I would like some hot chocolate.
We got another 7 seconds here.
Considering the history between these two guys, also, you have to throw that into the equation as well after the non-handshake at the end of the last game. And you look at coaching trees as well. Haley was with the Parcells group. Belichick had broken away from Parcells. McDaniels was part of the Belichick group. Am I making too much of it? Is there something there?
Well, there's definitely history between these two coaches, and there's a little bit of strategy involved. If I'm Josh McDaniels, I want to see him kick it again here in the first half.
And he will. From 47 yards away, Suckup. And he's got it with 3 seconds to play. Kansas City takes a 10-3 lead on Denver. $54 points scored in the final 2 minutes of the first half this season. That is the most in the NFL.
Well, good snap and a good hold, and Ryan Suckup does it again. They have been a very efficient offense all year. You know, I think that you know they can run the football, but Matt Castle has been outstanding as well.
And I would say this as well. This is a pretty good sign of how much they've improved offensively. I wouldn't call this a banner first half by any stretch offensively. They have 198 yards. So they're doing it in quiet ways, productive, and you use the word efficient. That's what they've been.
Well, they're the #1 rushing team in football. We talked about that. They've turned the ball over just 8 times, 8 offensive turnovers, a statistic they're very proud of. That's the fewest in the NFL. The quarterback is taking care of the ball as well, and the passing game has really taken off here the last month. I mean, this is the perfect combination for the Chiefs as they head into a critical part of their schedule here in the month of December.
And right now, they have outscored their opponents 148-70 at home. And Kansas City is going to get the football to open up the second half. So they end the first half putting points on the board. And here will be Denver's attempt as time runs out with Parrish Cox.
They put that ball away.
And that'll do it. First half complete here in Kansas City. Long-time AFC West rivalry. The Broncos and the Chiefs. Kansas City with a 10-3 lead. We'll come back. Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. This is the NFL on CBS. He is on his way to doing that again today as he puts up 85 yards in that first half on the ground. Denver will kick it off with Prater, and Dexter McCluster is the deep man for Kansas City. A rookie fields it at the 4. McCluster has missed the last 5 games with an ankle injury. Looking for blockers. McCluster slowed down to the 30, wouldn't go down, and then he is brought down, smothered at the 32-yard line. So first possession of this second half. Let's take a look at what Kansas City did in their first half possessions.
A little bit of inconsistency there. You see the punt, then a nice drive there with the touchdown, and then a 9-play, 57-yard drive that ended in a punt. And you know, I get the sense as I was watching them a little bit in the first half, they didn't get off to a great start, but once they settled in, Matt Castle made some great throws, did a good job checking the ball down to the backs.
They open up with a 1st and 10 at the 32. A pitch for Charles. And Charles down very quickly. Picks up a yard on the play. Justin Bannon there defensively, along with Robert Ayers for Denver.
Yeah, Justin Bannon. Defensive line has been reworked, but he has been steady so far this day for the Broncos up front.
So the numbers for Matt Castle: 138 yards, 11 of 19, and the touchdown pass to Leonard Pope. Chiefs are trying to move to 8-4. They get Charles out in space. Charles walking the tightrope and out of bounds. They love to work him to the edges, and that's exactly where they sent Charles on that running play.
Well, keep an eye on Robert Ayers, the end man on the line of scrimmage. He's got to contain. He gets cut down by Mike Cox, and of course, Jamal Charles, that speed on the perimeter. He is a home run hitter. He can score from anywhere on the field.
16-yard gain, 10 carries for 62 yards for Charles, the 3rd year back out of Texas. Castle gives it off, and it's Thomas Jones lumbering up the middle. Jones to the 41, and another Kansas City 1st down.
Well, they have gotten much better. Look at Casey Wigman in the group up front. Just work these doubles, getting up on the linebackers. That's the big key, and of course, Thomas Jones, one cut, and he's a downhill runner in that zone blocking scheme.
They need a nickname. There's been fire and ice and thunder and lightning. How about speed and slam for Kansas City?
Well, they both bring a little something different to the table. And outstanding in the running game.
Charles tripped up, read perfectly by Parrish Cox, helping in run support, and a loss of 4 on the play. Opening drive of this second half, Kansas City with a 10-3 lead over Denver. The Broncos are 3-8 on the season. The Chiefs are 7-4, leading the AFC West.
Well, you have to tackle. You're going to see Cox. He's going to get blocked, but you have to be able to tackle. You can't give a back like Jamal Charles extra opportunities. You can't give up the big runs. You got to make them earn it. Kansas City has 51 runs of 10 yards or more. You need to set the edges against both these backs.
Castle, he is buried by Champ Bailey. A complete corner.
Well, you have to keep an eye on Champ Bailey. He's just right down here at the bottom. And I'm surprised the fullback doesn't see this. Of course, the quarterback clearly doesn't see it. When you're on that left hash, you have to always be aware of Champ Bailey, particularly when you see that 2-deep shell. Champ Bailey's a reason why he's a 9-time Pro Bowler. He's done an outstanding job today with Dwayne Bowe. Think about how many times we have called Dwayne Bowe's number today.
Well, he had the one catch that got reversed on the coach's challenge. Castle throwing. Incomplete, and he laid it out there for McCluster, who took a shot, and a flag thrown. The Broncos want an explanation. McCluster was in heavy traffic.
Unnecessary roughness, number 55 of the defense, for contacting the defenseless receiver above the shoulders. 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
And it is the veteran DJ Williams called on the penalty.
Well, just keep an eye on DJ Williams. He's right here. He's just actually going to work down. But I want you to really watch. He's going to actually lower his shoulder right there. But just watch his reaction afterwards. Watch it right here. He's going to look for the flag. These defensive players now, they're anticipating it. When they have these hits on defenseless receivers, now they're looking for the flag.
He was looking for it, then he got it, and it gives Kansas City a 1st down. Thomas Jones gashing this Denver defense. Sidesteps his way to the 30-yard line. Williams over there to make the play for Denver.
It's been such an emphasis, these hits on defenseless players. I think DJ Williams would have been much better off, and just to keep going about his business. I think he made it easy for the official when he turned around and looked for the flag.
This drive, 5 rushes, 1 pass so far, and a 2nd and 2 for Kansas City. They've got a 7-point lead. Motion man is Bowe. Does not have a catch here today. Handoff. Charles. Running lane for Jamal Charles. 15 yards on the rip by Charles.
Boy, I just want you to watch this hole open up. Offensive line's doing a great job, but watch the movement and watch this big hole open up right back in the middle of that defense. Linebackers are not doing a very good job tracking and locating a back like Jamal Charles.
Sets up 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line for Kansas City. This drive stayed alive after the penalty. Handoff. Thomas Jones churning the legs. And Jones banged down at the 5. Tony Moeaki with a key block. Everybody getting involved for Kansas City right now.
Well, the fullback's doing a good job. The offensive line's been outstanding, and the movement up in front. Just watch the linebackers. They're going to get themselves out of position. And look at these big holes right back in the backside of this defense. Talk about everyone being willing to block in the running game. You see Ryan Tucker there trying to get a block on the safety as well.
1st and goal from the 5. Chiefs looking to add to their lead. It's Jones. Slammed down by Ryan McBean. First man there for Denver. Sets up 2nd and goal. All of their yards on this drive have come on the ground. The one passing play was a loss because of a sack, a loss of 6.
Yeah, they're getting Denver right now is getting worked right off the line of scrimmage. And the Chiefs' offensive line is getting such great movement. Guys like Vickerson and Williams and Justin Bannon are getting walked back into the linebackers.
Working out of the gun on a 2nd and goal from the 2. Inside handoff. Charles works his way in for the touchdown. Penalty marker on the play.
Oh, they're making it look too easy.
Jamal Charles bursting through for the score. Will it stand?
Illegal formation on the offense. Number 81 was not on the line of scrimmage, leaving only 6 players on the line. 5-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
It's against Moeaki, the rookie.
Well, he's not on the line of scrimmage. He's got to be up on the line of scrimmage, and that's the problem right there. And you see the official right down on the bottom of the screen. He's right there to make the call. You have to cover up this tackle, the left tackle, Tony Moeaki, the rookie. He's got to be on the line of scrimmage. A costly mistake in this part of the field. And Matt Castle can help him. Matt Castle can look out there and make sure that he's on the line of scrimmage.
2nd and goal from the 7. 10th play of the drive for the Chiefs. Handoff to Jones. And Jones wheeling his way up the middle for a 5-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and goal. Kevin Vickerson with a tackle for Denver.
And as you've gone back and forth describing Jones and Jamal Charles, they always have a fresh back in the game, and they got a strong belief that the production in the running game is directly related to how fresh these backs are late in the season. And that's been one of the benefits to have 2 backs that are both going to have 1,000-yard seasons. These guys are fresh late in the year.
Number 1 rushing offense in the NFL. Movement, Denver pointing to Kansas City. Flags are down.
False start, number 67, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And it's Barry Richardson, the 3rd-year right tackle out of Clemson.
And that's his 2nd penalty. He's going to come out of the game. You see Richardson come out and O'Callahan come in.
So Ryan O'Callahan, formerly with the New England Patriots, waived by the Pats and picked up last year. And Richardson having some words.
Well, he is not happy being taken out of the ball game. But you can't have these type of mistakes in this part of the field.
3rd and goal from the 7. Handoff. Charles forcing his way towards the goal line, but he is stood up and comes up short. Jason Hunter there. Boy, Barry Richardson was hot coming off the field. Richardson worked his way all the way down the sideline. This is when he was taken out, and boy.
Yeah, he's not happy. And there's a special teams coach, Steve Hoffman. He's trying to tell him, hey, you have to be ready. You have to go back in the event we kick a field goal.
Oh, they're not going to kick a field goal. They're going to go for it on 4th down. 4th and goal from the 2. Castle to pass. Castle in trouble, and Castle is sacked. The Denver defense comes up big. Mario Hagan.
You know, I'm really surprised they went for it there with all the confusion.
10-3, Kansas City in front. Mario Hagan has 5 sacks this season. 4 have come against the Kansas City Chiefs. That was a rough sequence for Kansas City with Barry Richardson involved. Pulled from the game, got emotional. Then the Chiefs elect to go for it on 4th down instead of making a 2-score game with a short field goal. Loshawn Moreno with the run after Denver came up with the sack on 4th down. Glenn Dorsey stops him after the 2-yard gain.
And I question the decision-making there of Todd Haley. I mean, there's a series of unfortunate events, and just I think the thing to do there would be to kick the field goal. We made it a 2-score game, and you think Barry Richardson, he's having a meltdown. He comes off the field. The special teams coach is trying to get him in a position where he can send him back out. Just an awful sequence for the Chiefs.
They had the football for half the quarter, and they have nothing to show for it. That was the first possession of the second half. Orton throwing. And broken up by Carr. In a matchup with Brandon Lloyd. Lloyd has just 1 catch for 13 yards.
This is an excellent job by Brandon Carr. Watch Lloyd right at the top of the stem, sell the route. He's right there in position. Now watch him get his head around. Great job, great coverage by Brandon Carr.
Lloyd came in leading the NFL in receiving yards with 1,122. Third and 8. 4 receivers set. Dime package defensively for Kansas City. Orton throwing under duress. And it's incomplete. Andy Studebaker supplying the pressure.
It's our guy, Andy Studebaker.
Yeah, that's right.
We did a game last year. Andy Studebaker had a number of big plays, a couple interceptions, and great effort there on the pass rush by Studebaker, the backup linebacker.
Out of Division III Wheaton.
Great special teams player as well.
Britton Colquitt to punt it. Javier Arenas waiting for it at his own 31-yard line.
And he's got some good field position here.
Colquitt averaging just under 44 yards per kick. Arenas fair catch, and he brings it in right around the 34-yard line for Kansas City. They maintain the 7-point lead. And back here in Kansas City, 10-3, the Chiefs leading the Denver Broncos. The Museum of Art here in Kansas City, apparently that was a piece of art. Really got to brush up on my art skills.
Oh boy.
Dexter McCluster. And McCluster zigzagging his way to the 40. McCluster down the sideline. And a flag thrown back at the 38-yard line.
Holding, number 10, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
57-yard run negated by the hold from Terrence Copper, the veteran.
And all that work for nothing. What an incredible run by McCluster. Good Todd Haley. He can't help himself. Just watch right here. Just extends that right arm a little bit. Just enough to grab Champ Bailey. The flag comes out. Well, actually, Ronaldo Hill was screaming for the penalty. We talked about how the Chiefs receivers have done a great job this year blocking in the running game, and unfortunately they got Terrence Copper for a hold.
Barry Richardson is in there at right tackle. Play fake on 1st and 15. Castle throwing high. Moiaki was in that vicinity. It'll be 2nd and 15 for Kansas City.
Kansas City and really making some mistakes here in the second half. We saw that previous drive, the mistakes they made, and of course They come out here and they waste a great run by Dexter McCluster with a penalty. It's very difficult for Charlie Weiss. You start looking at these numbers, you get yourself behind in the down and distance. He doesn't have a lot of plays on his call sheet for 2nd and 15. Trying to get half of it back.
This Kansas City team was 4-12 in 2009. Charlie Weiss comes on board. Romeo Cornell. Thomas Jones brought down low by Champ Bailey. 3-yard pickup. AFC West standings. San Diego and Oakland matchup later on today.
And the Chiefs can't afford to pump the brakes. San Diego coming on strong in their rearview mirror. They've won 4 in a row. Remember, this is the same team that won 11 in a row to close out last season.
And next week, Kansas City will be at San Diego, then heading to St. Louis. So back-to-back road games coming up for the Chiefs, trying to improve to 8-4 with a win here. 3rd and 12. Castle slings it and complete to Tucker. First down into Denver territory at the 49.
Well, keep an eye. They're going to cross underneath, and then Verant Tucker is going to come back over the top. Really a nice job design here. You see the back and Moiaki cross. Verant Tucker works in the middle of the field. Verant Tucker has really had an outstanding second part of the season. He's just going to beat Pope right off the line of scrimmage.
Thomas Jones, the ball carrier, picks up a yard. Let's get an NFL Today update. Check in with JB in New York.
Hey, Ian and Rich, take a look at this play here. It has to be one of the highlights of the year. Aaron Rodgers hooking up with Donald Driver. Take a look at Driver. Looks like a pinball runner here. Gets away from 1. There's 2. A little bit of help from a teammate. Gets away from 3. And he's got 3 chasing him. They bump him into the end zone. 61 yards to pay dirt, that is. Green Bay on top, 21-13. Ian and Rich.
Had to look twice because of the Green Bay uniforms.
Throwbacks.
Packers come in at 7-4, a game behind Chicago. McCluster getting the call, met by Ronaldo Hill, and a 1-yard gain. We talked about Verant Tucker, Rich. Chris Chambers, the veteran wide receiver, is a healthy inactive today, so that shows you where things are beginning to sort themselves out among the wide receivers. Tucker is active, McCluster is active, Dwayne Bowe and Terrence Copper because of what he brings to special teams.
Well, free agent rookie that's really come in and worked for every opportunity in this offense.
3rd and 8. Castle from the gun. Steps up. Castle was hit as he throws, and it's scooped up. DJ Williams picking it up down the sideline. And Williams is drilled inside the 10. Penalty marker back at the 48-yard line. And the question, was the arm going forward as Matt Castle was attempting to release the football? So a couple of issues right now.
Well, that's what the officials are discussing. I thought he was trying to get it out the side.
Carl Cheffers.
The ruling on the field is that the pass was thrown forward. It is intentional grounding on number 7. That 10-yard penalty includes a loss of down. 4th down.
Well, they'll take the intentional grounding if it is indeed ruled the forward pass instead of a DJ Williams fumble recovery.
Well, look at Mario Hagan. He has had an outstanding day. He's going to split the double team. He had the sack earlier the other drive, and he looks like he's just trying to get that ball out and avoid the sack. Mario Hagan has been a handful for that Chiefs offensive line.
So think about what just happened for Kansas City. The penalty saves them about 80 yards based on the fact that Williams was hit inside the 10. Did look like Castle was flicking the wrist, trying to get rid of the football, and could not get a lot on it, obviously, because of the pressure coming from Hagan.
Well, 2 ugly drives here for the Chiefs to start the second half. And the penalties right now and the mistakes are just killing this offense.
And it's something they've avoided throughout most of this season. 7-4 here at home, 5-0. Dustin Kolk with the punt. Eddie Royal, fair catch. And he brings it in at the 16-yard line. Just a 7-point differential late third quarter in Kansas City. Kansas City has dominated the clock in the second half. They have no points, though. And Denver still very much in this game, trailing the Chiefs 10-3. 3:16 to go in the third quarter. Knowshon Moreno has been the standout offensively for Denver. Orton pump. Orton throws over the middle. And Gaffney could not secure it. Jabbar Gaffney with Brandon Carr right there defensively. It's incomplete.
I think Carr was actually covering someone else. He just happened to run into Jabbar Gaffney. Nice job by Kyle Orton stepping up inside, buying some time, but you're going to see as Gaffney's trying to catch it, Carr is actually covering the other receiver coming from the other side of the field.
Carr's played well today for the Chiefs. Orton is 5 of 13, 71 yards. He came in leading the NFL in passing yards this season. Moreno bouncing to the outside. Chopped down with a flag down. John McGraw ranging over to make that play for the Chiefs. 7 penalties against Kansas City, 3 against Denver.
Holding number 73 offense. That penalty's declined. Third down.
They declined the holding penalty to make it third down.
Well, just keep an eye right here. You're going to see Chris Cooper. He's going to actually grab Derek Johnson right there. And the officials aren't going to miss that.
A sea of red here in Kansas City. 3rd and 8 for Denver. Or it would have been 2nd and 20. Orton throws. And Carr has been winning the individual battle throughout the day.
And he's going to let him know about it as well. Try to throw a back shoulder throw there, but Brandon Carr has been outstanding in man-to-man coverage.
So it's 4th down as words continue to be exchanged and tempers flare. Lloyd and Carr still going at it.
Brandon Lloyd played football right here in Missouri at Blue Springs High School.
Britton Kolk with the punt and didn't get much of it. Kansas City's going to have the football in Denver territory, up by 7. And back here at Arrowhead, last 2 possessions for Kansas City. Long drive, 12 plays, 53 yards. They went for it on 4th down, didn't get it, turned it over on downs, and then the last drive, penalties which have marred the Chiefs in this second half. Jamal Charles getting to the perimeter. Moiaki with another key block, creating a little extra space. In this third quarter, we've had a little bit of drama here for Kansas City.
Yeah, the illegal formation from Tony Moiaki. Then you get the false start, which was actually Barry Richardson's second of the day. The coach decided to take him out of the game. He doesn't like it. He has a meltdown on the sidelines. They have an unfortunate, on 4th down, they try and go for it. And of course, Mario Hagan right there for the sack. Just an ugly end to what was a promising drive there in the third quarter.
Thomas Jones trying to dart his way to the outside, and also Dexter McCluster had a long 55-yard run that got negated on a hold. Here's the previous play with Charles getting banged on the outside. Yeah, may have banged his head also. The back of his head on that throwdown. They were working on his hands. It'll be 2nd and 8 as McCluster is in there now for Kansas City. The versatility of this Chiefs offense. In the backfield, you can go with Charles, you can go with Jones, you can go with McCluster. And McCluster brought down, he loses the football. Justin Bannon over there defensively. They're going to have to peel off this pile. Denver's got it. Now, how much of the changes that are made affect this Kansas City team with McCluster down at the bottom of the pile, and he wants to get out. He's in some pain.
Well, he's got about 1,000 pounds on the back of his legs. The bottom of that pile. Everyone with Justin Bannon made an unbelievable play there.
Richardson came out with a football, but the officials say that it is Denver that will have it, and it's all Justin Bannon. Bannon jars it loose. The ball right there, and Bannon falls on top of it for the Broncos. No team in the NFL has recorded fewer takeaways than the Denver Broncos, but they just came up with their 12th. And they take over the football with Noshawn Moreno getting the carry. He picks up 2 yards on the play. Andy Studebaker over there defensively. Justin Bannon with the strip and the recovery for Denver. Dexter McCluster, the ball carrier.
Well, you just see him. He beats Barry Richardson right across his face. He's able to get that hand in there, knock the ball out of Dexter McCluster. As you said, this is a defense that has really struggled taking the ball away this season.
And no team has turned it over less than Kansas City. Only the 9th of the season for the Chiefs. Orton throwing. He's got Gaffney. Jabbar Gaffney with a first down to the 45-yard line. Denver trailing Kansas City 10-3. We have 35 seconds to play in the third.
You're just going to see Gaffney. He's just going to go up and work right back outside on Javier Arenas, the rookie. Kyle Orton now, this offense starting to get on a little bit of a roll.
And the first down of the second half for Denver. Final 15 seconds of the third. Working from the gun. Delayed handoff. Moreno hurdling his way into Kansas City territory. That'll be the final play of the third quarter. Eric Berry getting him down low for the tackle. 7-point game in Kansas City. Old rivals in the AFC West going at it. The NFL on CBS. Back at Arrowhead Stadium, opened up back in 1972. They just underwent a $375 million renovation. The Denver Broncos going to the ground game, and Noshawn Moreno accelerating. First play of the fourth quarter, Zane Beadles with a key block to help spring Moreno for 22, and he's got a $119 on the ground here today.
Well, this comes right downhill. Look at the guard, right guard, Zane Beadles. He's going to kick out. He blows up Derek Johnson in the hole. That's all it takes for Noshawn Moreno to get up on the safeties.
Career high for Moreno. Just underway. Fourth quarter, shotgun formation. Orton up in the air, looking for Lloyd, and broken up. Brandon Carr. What a performance he's put on here today in that secondary for the Chiefs.
If I'm Kyle Orton, I may think work on the other side. I know you have your best receiver over here, Brandon Lloyd, but Brandon Carr has been outstanding. This is not a very good throw. You need more air on this. You got to give Brandon Lloyd a chance to make that one in the back of the end zone.
Carr almost had his first interception of the season. Good size at 6 foot, 207 pounds, going against Brandon Lloyd, who's 6 foot, 194. Second and 10 for Denver. Orton looks to the outside and gets it to Eddie Royal for a short gain. Modest gain of 4 yards. Brandon Flowers there defensively. To New York and JB.
Ian and Rich, Cincinnati not able to do much against New Orleans except on this drive here. Play action. Carson Palmer hooking up a T.O. 5 catches to 40 yards. That's a 5-yarder there to narrow the gap to 8. T.O. trying to do a Shannon Sharp there. I think Shannon's still a little better built. 20-12, Saints on top. Ian and Rich.
Now Cincinnati, what a frustrating season it's been at 2-9 and just not even being talked about around the league. Lloyd, the intended receiver, and he was out of bounds. What a terrific grab. This time he was matched up with Flowers, but he could not bring it in inbounds for the score.
Well, this is on Kyle Orton. You see Brandon Lloyd, he's got him beat, but you got to give him a ball that's in bounds. I mean, you have no chance of making this play. Learned a long time ago, balls that are completed out of bounds, they never count. I had a coach tell me
write that
I used
down.
to throw him out of bounds a lot in practice as a rookie.
Really?
He'd say, hey, they don't count, and they catch him out of bounds.
He's right. 41-yard field goal attempt for Matt Prater. Colquitt to hold it. Prater leans into it, and he knocks it through, cutting into the Kansas City lead. It's 10-6. Chiefs lead it. 13:42 to play. Early stages, fourth quarter, the Kansas City Chiefs with a 10-6 lead over the Denver Broncos. Kansas City in first place in the AFC West. The Broncos have lost 16 of their last 21 games. 8-play, 44-yard drive, a 41-yard field goal from Prater after the fumble by Dexter McCluster. And McCluster is now the deep man for Kansas City. Prater will kick it off. McCluster moves forward. Fields it on the move from the 8. And he's bottled up at the 24-yard line. Tight one in KC. 10-6, Kansas City leading Denver. Chiefs take over with a 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line. Jones in the backfield. Fake the handoff. Castle trying to drop it in the bucket to Bowe, and it's incomplete. Todd Haley asking for the penalty flag. The fans asking the same thing, with Bailey and Bruton back there.
Well, this has been a fun matchup to watch. Champ Bailey on Dwayne Bowe. Dwayne Bowe has had a frustrating day. Big reason why. Number 24 has been all over him. He told us last night, he said, listen, we got to stop the run, and I have to take Dwayne Bowe out of the game. He was excited about the challenge, and he is winning that battle right now.
Well, what's been a frustrating season for Denver has still been an outstanding season for Champ Bailey. McCluster, the catch and run to the 30-yard line, picks up 6 yards. DJ Williams making the play defensively. Coming up tomorrow on CBS, just one look and you're hooked. The People's Choice nominee for favorite new TV drama, Hawaii Five-0. New episode tomorrow, only CBS. Big third down here for Kansas City. Time of possession in favor of the Chiefs. They've had the football for more than 10 minutes compared to Denver, but they have not been able to turn those into points, especially in the second half with some major miscues. Rush is coming. They handle it. Castle gets rid of it. Incomplete. You had 2 in the area. Copper and Charles were bunched together.
Well, that was the problem right there. Looked like there's some confusion. You talk about spacing being so important in the passing game. So you look at Matt Castle, you're not sure if he's throwing it to Jamal Charles or Terrence Copper.
I think Charles was the defensive player on that play. He was the one that may have gotten in the way of Copper to make that catch.
Well, they are not. They are really struggling here in the second half.
Kansas City out of sorts right now as Colquitt punts to Eddie Royal. Backpedaling, it carries him to the 19-yard line. Royal now working his way back upfield out across the 30 and near the 35 as Copper brings him down on special teams. Denver gets the football back, trailing just 10-6. Chargers fans keeping an eye on this one. San Diego at 6-5, 1 game behind Kansas City atop the AFC West standings. 10-6, Chiefs lead it. Orton, play fake, throwing downfield into double coverage, and he tried to force it into Jabbar Gaffney. Brandon Flowers, who is back in his starting role for the Kansas City Chiefs, trying to recover from that hamstring problem. Coming up, Subway postgame show, JB and company, the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Second half, Kansas City has had the football for over 13 minutes. Denver has run just 14 plays, yet they're still very much alive, trailing by only 4 with over 12 minutes of action left. Handoff, it's Moreno. It's been a career day for Noshawn Moreno, and he won't go down to the 43-yard line. 3 missed tackles on that run by Moreno. It's 13 yards.
Well, 13 yards the hard way, and we talk about tackling, getting these backs to the ground. O'Shawn Moreno has done an excellent job in this football game running through a bunch of arm tackles. You're going to see a miss right there. Eric Berry comes in. He's been a short-handed tackler. Arenas, they're not doing a good job tackling here in the second half.
First down for Denver, and the Broncos have done it with their running game today. 132 yards. Orton throwing, incomplete. Lloyd with a diving attempt. That ball may have been just a little offline as Lloyd left his feet. 21 running plays, 22 passes for Denver today.
Pretty good balance. Not something we've really seen from this offense all year, but it's worked. And O'Shawn Moreno is running really well right now. You have to keep feeding him the rock.
2nd and 10 from the gun. And it will be Moreno. Running alley for Moreno as he crosses into Kansas City territory. Tamba Hali with the stop on the second-year pro out of Georgia.
And he has the ability to bounce runs to the edge, and then once he gets there, you see him just tiptoe and missing Eric Berry.
Brandon Flowers just came to the Kansas City sideline. Travis Daniels has stepped in to replace him. And Daniels is matched up on the far side with Gaffney.
Timeout Denver.
10:57 to go, fourth quarter. Kansas City with a 10-6 lead. Denver used a timeout, a key third down here, 3rd and 5. They're going to run it with Moreno right up the middle. Moreno dances his way across the 25. It is a new season high for Denver in rushing, beating their previous mark that they set against Kansas City 3 weeks ago.
And they come back with that inside draw. And remember, what did Josh McDaniels tell us last night about Charlie Weiss? The one thing that he learned, if there's a play that works, come right back with it. That's just what the Denver did on that 3rd down.
The longest run of the season for Moreno, 24 yards. Only 2 career 100-yard rushing games. Both have come against Kansas City in the last 3 weeks. First down for Denver. Orton knocked up in the air. That Studebaker almost came up with a pick.
You're going to see Andy Studebaker right at the top of your screen. They're just going to throw a little quick 3-step slant. They try and cut him. He does the next best thing. Jumps up and deflects that ball. You have to be aggressive in the 3-step game. You have to get those defenders' hands down.
Romeo Crennel has Brandon Flowers back on the field, and Travis Daniels heads back to the Kansas City sideline. 2nd and 10. Play clock down to 0. Didn't look like they got the play off.
Way of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, that's inexcusable. Kyle Orton, he should know better. They've had it a couple times now. Josh McDaniels bailed him out a little bit in the first half. You see the play clock. It's a lot of information that needs to be conveyed to the line of scrimmage. They're trying to get those protection calls made.
And a 2nd and 15 now for the Broncos. They'll hit the 10-minute mark of this fourth quarter. And Orton is slammed down by Hali. Football came free. Kansas City's got it. Tamba Hali, the sack and the swipe.
Well, you're going to see Tamba Hali. He's just going to beat Ryan Clady right off the edge. Tamba Hali, their sack leader, coming in. Ryan Clady, a Pro Bowl tackle. Kyle Orton never feels him. Excellent job getting that ball out. He just beats him quickly with his hands and that speed off the edge.
Career high, 10 sacks on the season. Hali's in double figures. Running play to Jamal Charles. Bangs it for a 3-yard gain.
Well, it's one thing to get there, but then to get there and to be able to get the sack with the strip. Excellent job by Tom Bahali, not only getting the quarterback on the ground, but coming around with that right arm and ripping it out.
Kansas City with a 10-6 advantage over Denver. We've got 9:35 and counting left in this fourth quarter. Important game for the Chiefs, trying to maintain their lead over the San Diego Chargers in the AFC West. Castle to throw it. And he gets Bo involved. First catch of the day. Dwayne Bowe and a penalty marker. Champ Bailey reacting that it's going to be offensive pass interference.
Well, Dwayne Bowe, you're going to see him. He clearly pushes off.
Offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Well, Champ Bailey playing man-to-man coverage. He has not gotten a lot of help today, but watch Dwayne Bowe, and this ball is thrown. Watch that left hand push right on the back of Champ Bailey. Right there, just enough to get the separation.
Dwayne Bowe.
He is getting shut out.
He leads the NFL with 14 touchdowns. 13 of those have come the last 7 games. New franchise record for touchdown catches, beating the previous mark held by Chris Buford, who had 12 for the 1962 Dallas Texans. 2nd and 17. Castle. Long ball. Incomplete. Dwayne Bowe with Champ Bailey.
We've got a chance to watch this battle all day long, and Champ Bailey has dominated Dwayne Bowe. You just look from the very beginning. He has locked him up, and he has not gotten a lot of help from the safeties over the top. It's been a frustrating day for Dwayne Bowe. You think about how hot he was coming into this game. Champ Bailey could still run with the best of them.
You know, it's interesting. They won that last meeting, Denver did, against Kansas City, but Champ Bailey felt badly that Kansas City was able to get their passing game going. He feels like they allowed them to gain confidence in that game despite the fact they dominated. Moeaki just took a shot from Joe Mays. And Kansas City will punt. So after the turnover, no damage done by the Chiefs offense.
Well, this Denver defense has really picked things up here in the second half.
Don Wink Martindale running the defense for Denver.
And he told us they've had to continually mix up the calls, and he's done a great job of that here in the second half. They've kept this Chiefs offense off balance.
Dustin Colquitt punting to Eddie Royal. Field to the 19. Up the middle across the 30. And brought down just short of the 35-yard line. A 43-yard punt and a 15-yard return by Royal.
44 yards.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, something big is brewing at Facebook. What is it? Find out directly from CEO Mark Zuckerberg on 60 Minutes. Plus, Ben Bernanke and his predictions for the economy. That's tonight.
1st and 10 Broncos from the Denver 3.
Kansas City with a 10-6 lead. 8:08 to play in the fourth quarter. This Denver team is desperate. Rich, they come in at 3-8. Last week, a 36-33 loss to St. Louis. Late rally fell short. They trailed 33-13 entering the fourth. Came back but couldn't get the win. They have an opportunity here to get a win and also play the role of spoiler for Kansas City late in the season. Play clock winding down again. Orton able to get the snap. Low throw. Brandon Lloyd somehow came up with that ball, although it bounced. The fact that Lloyd had the concentration, tried to sell it as a catch. It's incomplete.
Well, not a very good throw by Kyle Orton. You're going to see it one hop. Still pretty good catch off the bounce.
Right behind Josh McDaniels is his dad, Tom McDaniels. High school coach, very successful. Canton McKinley High School. His team just went 12-1. Josh played quarterback under his dad before moving on to John Carroll University. Shotgun formation on a 2nd and 10. Flags down, Orton to throw.
Well, another one-hopper.
Yep, Moreno, low throw, and it's incomplete. Penalty marker on the play.
Well, there is clearly some confusion coming out of the
Illegal
huddle.
formation on the offense. Only 6 players on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. Third down.
So the penalties, 8 of them against Kansas City. That one was declined.
Well, neither on the line of scrimmage. This is the second time now this has come up. We saw it with Kansas City earlier. Somebody has to cover up that left tackle.
You make a decision if you're Kansas City. Do you want 3rd and 10 or you want 2nd and 20? They elect 3rd and 10 from the gun. Low snap. Orton throwing off his back foot. Lloyd trying to make a play, but can't haul it in. Brandon Carr with a stellar effort here today for the Chiefs.
I tell you, these corners for both teams have really done a nice job shutting down Dwayne Bowe and Brandon Lloyd. Really nice coverage here. Brandon Carr, nice job looking back and locating the throw and going up and making a play.
Rich, Kyle Orton is 7 of 24 for 85 yards. He opened the day 3 of 3, which means he is 4 of his last 21 throwing the football. And Denver is still in this game. McCluster returning. Slowed down but didn't go down. He will go down on that second wave out across the 25-yard line as Woodyard makes the play on special teams. 43-yard punt.
42-yard punt, 6-yard return.
Next Sunday, doubleheader here. The NFL on CBS. Game 1, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. AFC North duel. Game 2 features several key showdowns. New England at Chicago. Miami at the Jets. And the Chiefs visiting San Diego. It all kicks off with JV and company. The NFL Today live at noon Eastern on CBS.
Well, this Chiefs offense, they need to get something going here. They've been very sloppy here in the second half. The penalties, the turnovers, the mental errors have really cost them some chances.
Take a timeout here from Kansas City. Slope for the Kansas City Chiefs. Injury on that play on special teams. Joe Mays now on the sideline for Denver. Chiefs with a 10-6 lead. 7:44 to go in the fourth quarter, and the 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Castle with a handoff to Charles. And Charles goes down out across the 30. It's a 4-yard pickup. Hagan there defensively. Second half, miscues, mistakes for Kansas City on offense.
Oh, the Barry Richardson blow up, and we get the sack on 4th down, which was a disastrous end to that drive. And they get a penalty by Copper on a big play by Dexter McCluster. And of course, the fumble, Justin Bannon. And it's an ugly start to the second half for the Kansas City Chiefs. They need to settle down here late in this game.
2nd and 6. 3 receivers set for KC. Receiver screen for Copper, trying to get it to the outside. Turns the corner, and he's got a first down. Dwayne Bowe contributing as a blocker on that play. It's an 8-yard gain. Second half possessions, opportunities for Kansas City. Turned it over on downs, a punt. They fumbled. And another couple of punts as well for Kansas City. They lead it 10-6. We're under 7 minutes to go.
And look at those last 3 drives. 3 and outs are demoralizing to an offense, and it really affects your ability to get some rhythm offensively. Really tough on the quarterback.
Castle is 15 of 28, 179 yards and a touchdown. Works it to the other side. Copper trying to remain on his feet. And Parrish Cox over there defensively for Denver. It's a 4-yard gain.
Talk about repeating plays. We saw that very similar play, a little bubble screen, just nothing more than a perimeter run on the early down, just finding another way to get out on the edge of this defense. Look at the time of possession there in the second half. They have not been able to do anything with it. They've not been able to score, and yet they've had plenty of opportunities.
2nd and 6. Charles on the verge of hitting 100 yards rushing on the day. Handoff. Charles hits the hole hard. He's got a first down, and he's over 100 yards rushing today. 104 on 17 carries for Charles.
You get a good look at Jamal Charles. Very patient. Look, Casey Wigman getting up on the linebacker. They've done a really good job. The internal group of that offensive line. Wigman, Ryan Liljer, Brian Waters, they've been outstanding getting movement and getting up on the second level.
And Kevin Vickerson shaken up on that play. he'll head towards the Denver sideline. 5:42 to go in this fourth quarter. Don't forget, coming up, Subway postgame show, JB and the rest of the gang. Latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Denver Broncos, second worst stretch in team history. Have to go back to 1970-71. 16 losses in their last 21 games. This will be their 5th straight season without a playoff berth. Trying to stop this Kansas City offense, and maybe an opportunity. Castle on the exchange, and Charles gets back there to cover up. Loss of 7 on the play.
Charles covers the loose ball.
Boy, that was ugly. This is not something you normally see. Just actually comes out. Ryan Lilja looks like the right guard. You have to seat the ball. Matt Castle there. That ball should never come out. You can't take things for granted. Just poor mechanics with run game footwork.
And it changes the tempo of this drive as well. They had it going. Now it's a 2nd and 17 for Kansas City. Fake the running play. And Castle had it knocked down. It's Ayers. Robert Ayers getting penetration. And then getting a piece of the football.
Well, they're trying to run the screen. You see Robert Ayers extends the ball. They're trying to get the ball back to Jamal Charles. Part of the problem is the offensive line's trying to get out in that screen, and they turn some of these defenders loose.
This is the number 4 team in the NFL in scoring. The Kansas City Chiefs averaging just under 26 points per game. They've been held to 10. Think back to the first meeting. A lot of scoring, a lot of yardage. 16 points combined here today. Castle pumps. He throws underneath to Thomas Jones. Hoping Jones can make a play, but he'll be bottled up at the 44-yard line, short of a first down. So it's 4th down. Kansas City will send the punter onto the field with 4:22 and the clock rolling left in the fourth quarter.
Well, you're rolling the dice if you're the Chiefs. Just keep giving a team like Denver opportunities. You keep allowing them to hang around. Something bad's going to happen.
78 combined points in the last meeting 3 weeks ago. 16 today. Colquitt punting. Eddie Royal, fair catch. And he'll bring it in at the 15-yard line. 29-yard punt. Saturday, it's a college football classic. The 111th meeting between Army and Navy, presented by USAA. It all starts live at 2 Eastern with TIAA Crest. College football today here on CBS.
I know you've had the good fortune on a number of occasions to call that game. I grew up in the Philadelphia area. I used to go to a lot of the Army-Navy games. Just a wonderful event to participate in.
Absolutely, and Army's improved. They've gotten better. Still trying to knock down Navy, though. It's been a long time. Orton throwing. And he's got Lloyd on the sideline. So finally they're able to connect downfield with Kyle Orton throwing a strike. 18 yards.
Look how far off Brandon Flowers is playing. This is too easy for Brandon Lloyd and Kyle Orton. Little comeback right on the boundary.
2 catches today, 31 yards. Orton has just gone over 100 yards passing today. Under 4 minutes to go. Noshawn Moreno, 23 carries, 161 yards on the ground. Moving pocket, Orton throws a bounce towards Jabbar Gaffney. Remember, when these two teams met just 3 weeks ago, a 49-29 victory for Denver. But after the game, a storyline. Why can't they be friends? Haley and McDaniels, no handshake from Todd Haley. We talked to both men about it. McDaniels said, hey, no hard feelings. I moved on. I understand how it goes sometimes. Haley said, I apologize for it. I was emotional. You know, sometimes you can't follow the etiquette handbook in the NFL. Right now, they're not worrying about a handshake. They're worried about the result. Orton able to flip it at the last moment, gets rid of it for Moreno, but he was whistled down as Arenas was the first man there defensively. Orton wants an explanation from Cheffers. He felt he got rid of it in time.
Well, they're going to say he was in the grasp In control. They're doing a nice job bringing pressure off the left side. You're going to see Javier Arenas coming along with Tamba Hali. The back tries to cut him. Really a nice job there. That ball's, that's a heck of a play by Kyle Orton. Watch him just flip this thing out.
Well, that should have been a clean pass, no?
Really a nice alert play by Kyle Orton. That's an unfortunate deal there for the Broncos. I think that was coming out.
3rd and 18. Orton throwing over the middle. It's Moreno. And brought down short of the 40-yard line with 3:05 left to go. They have 3 timeouts. They have the 2-minute warning. And they are electing to punt the football instead of going for it on 4th down.
Well, that's the right thing to do with 3 timeouts, particularly in light of the way Kansas City has played offensively in the second half. They can't get out of their own way. You have to punt the ball here, pin him back, and play defense.
2 timeouts remaining for Denver and the 2-minute warning, trailing 10-6. Dexter McCluster waiting for the punt at the 15. High punt from Britton Colquitt. McCluster returnable. Tried to circle as Woodyard made the play on special teams, a 47-yard punt, limiting McCluster to a 1-yard return. 2:23 to go. What's coming up for Kansas City? The Chiefs will be heading to San Diego, then at St. Louis, home for Tennessee, and they'll wrap things up against the Oakland Raiders.
That's not an easy remaining schedule. I mentioned San Diego earlier, Ian. I mean, they've won 4 in a row. I could see them easily running the table. They did it last year. They won 11 in a row to finish the season. They're getting healthy. They're playing some excellent football in the AFC West.
On 1st down for Kansas City. It's a handoff going right up the middle. Thomas Jones with a 4-yard pickup. Ronald Fields there defensively. They're going to let this clock run down to the 2-minute warning. No, they'll take the timeout now. So with 2:10 left, why didn't Denver take it quicker? Still lost about 4 or 5 seconds after the tackle was made.
Well, if you're Kansas City, you're just thinking first downs. Moving the chains and forcing Denver to use the rest of those timeouts.
Todd Haley. It's amazing how much has changed. You go back, after 6 games last year, Josh McDaniels was the toast of the NFL. The Broncos were 6-0. McDaniels was a wonderkind, and now here we are. Haley was catching a lot of heat in Kansas City, and how things have switched in 1 year. Charles to the outside, and he stays in bounds. Jamal Charles will hit the 2-minute warning. He's got enough for the 1st down, so this drive will continue as he picks up 6 yards. Kansas City trying to hold on. They lead at 10-6.
Well, this is a critical run in this drive. Mike Cox has done an excellent job the entire day kicking out, and Jamal Charles finishing runs, and now the ability to stay in bounds and get that ball forward and get that 1st down.
Well, right now, best case scenario, Denver can get the football back between 20 and 30 seconds if they stop Kansas City here on 3 consecutive running plays. Obviously, Kansas City's looking to use clock. Denver still has 1 timeout remaining. And that's their final timeout with 1:54 to go. Kansas City with a 10-6 lead. They've got the football and will face a 2nd and 9 from the 28-yard line. This Bronco team is 3-8 on the season. Denver has been able to stay in this game, making some plays defensively, although offensively they haven't mustered enough. Kansas City miscues in the second half. Barry Richardson lost his cool on the sideline. That led to a 4th down sack. McCluster a big run, called back because of a hold on Copper, and then McCluster fumbled the football, recovered by Denver. 2nd and 9. Denver has no timeouts left on a pitch for Charles, over 100 yards on the day, ducking down low, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a half a yard on the play. Ronald Fields there defensively. And take a look at that clock, down to 1:40 left.
Well, you remember we talked with Todd Haley, the fact that they weren't able to make that previous game a physical one. Well, they've done that today really on both sides of the ball. Their ability to run the ball here in the second half has been the difference. Now, they have not capitalized, have not been able to finish drives, but they have dominated time of possession. They've kept that Denver offense off the field.
Remember, Denver had the ball 4th and 4 at its own 38 with 2:23 left and 2 timeouts. They elected to punt it, and a timeout called by Matt Castle with 1:09 left on the clock. So a 3rd and 7 coming up for Kansas City. And the Chiefs clinging to a 10-6 lead. What's coming up for the Kansas City Chiefs? They will have a matchup with the San Diego Chargers on the road, then another road game as they meet St. Louis. Denver will be at Arizona, then at Oakland. So back-to-back road games coming up for them, with Houston later in the season, and the Broncos will wrap it up against San Diego on January the 2nd.
Well, this would be a huge win if somehow Denver could find a way to get it done, get the ball back, and get a score. But things are not going very well for the Broncos. And you listen to what the owner said, Pat Bowen, with 5 games left, they'll continue to monitor the progress of this team and evaluate really what's in the best interest of this franchise. They need to do some things here the next 4 weeks.
Charles trying to bang his way inside. He picks up 3, well short of a first down, and Denver is going to get the football back, trailing by 4. 4th down, Kansas City. The Chiefs will punt it. You see a 20-second difference between the game clock and the play clock.
Well, I think you line up and you run that play clock all the way down to a second. You take a timeout. This is a critical play. And the special teams units last week in Kansas City weren't very good. They had a punt blocked last week that got returned for a touchdown against Seattle.
They had a season-best 503 yards of offense against Seattle in that 42-24 win. And there is the timeout with 20 seconds left. The executive producer of the NFL on CBS is Sean McManus. The vice president of production, Harold Bryant. Today's game produced by Bob Monsbach, directed by Suzanne Smith. Senior producer of CBS Sports and the NFL Today is Eric Mann. The director, Bob Matina. Coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS is Lance Barrow. The coordinating producer of CBS Sports, Steve Karasik. Associate directors of today's game, the birthday girl, Alana Campbell and Jonathan Siegel. Broadcast associates, Eric Spitzer and Adam Holtzman. Technical manager, Doug Fleetum. Technical director, Terry Rosich. Audio supervisor, Dave Grunvik. 4th down. Colquitt the punt. Royal can't handle it. Free football. And it's scooped up by Cox, but he's in the end zone. Incredible. A safety. It's been that kind of season for the Denver Broncos.
That really started with Dustin Colquitt. An unbelievable punt at a critical time in the game. Look how excited he is. He turned that ball over. It made it very difficult for Eddie Royal to field it with the wind. He's trying to pick it up. Nice play getting the ball on the ground.
So it will not be ruled a safety. It was touched prior.
I don't know that he even touched it.
I don't think he touched it. Oh, it was touched there by Tucker and then scooped up. So because he didn't touch it, they placed the football at the 8-yard line.
You got one shot. You're going to see a bunch of laterals, I imagine. Got to throw this one downfield, give him a chance.
Orton, deep ball, It's over. The Kansas City Chiefs hold on for a 10-6 win over the Denver Broncos. Haley and McDaniels making their way towards midfield. Kansas City improves to 8-4. Not just a handshake, a hug. Final score, 10-6. KC over Denver. Coming up next, the Subway postgame show. For Rich Gannon, this is Ian Eagle. So long from Kansas City. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. We'll take you to James Brown in New York right after this.